Hi, I'm William Malik, and I'm here with your bit of security for the 24th of February, 2025. Today, we're going to talk about the use of analogies for cybersecurity. And this has to do with how we teach it and also how we understand it when we want to put together a strategy. So I called this section Cogito Ergo Sum, and that's because I wanted to start with a stunning representation of a very early model that kicked off a lot of good thought and speculation, but turned out not to be that useful. All models are distortions, but some of them are helpful. When Descartes suggested that what makes us exist is that we think, that was 1637, that suggestion, I think, therefore I am, has been probably successfully refuted for nearly 400 years. But let's take a look more deeply. What distinguishes something that's living from something that's not living if it's not thinking? Well, if you go to the NASA Astrobiology program, as described on their website, you find that they have a series of traits. All life is highly ordered and structured. Structure like symmetry, and it's made out of cells. Life reproduces. Uh, Life grows and develops from maturity. Life takes in and utilizes energy. It metabolizes. Living things exhibit homeostasis, meaning that they tend to try to maintain an internal environment. It's necessary so that certain chemical reactions proceed at the pace they're ideally tuned to keep the thing living. Um, all living things sense and respond to their environment, and all living things adapt to external pressure. So, what do we say about a computer program when we say that it's like a body? It has a skin, which is the firewall. It has anti-malware, which is like an immune system and all that. Well, living things do have boundaries. They have edges, so you know what's the living thing and what's not. They sense and interact with their environment. They metabolize and reproduce. Um, a particular individual may not have any children, but that doesn't mean it's not living because that property is of a mass, a group, rather than all. Cybersecurity also concerns itself with boundaries and edges and with homeostasis, keeping its internal operations proceeding despite disruptions or challenges. Um, Layered defense. Yeah, we have that there. We have senses. We can perceive things at a distance. And the analogy that was used to talk about the body as a defense ignored that. And that's where I'd really want to extend it. Living things not only react to their environment, but they can anticipate stuff. They can see what's coming and either get out of the way or prepare, hunker down, and so on. When we use analogies, we discovered that things like computers and computer programs are not like life. We want to prepare for what's outside, but the boundary between a computer program and the rest of the world doesn't really exist. Either the computer is connected or it is irrelevant. And assuming that the connection is not there will lead you into terrible tragedies. In other words, we have to assume that there is no perimeter and there never was. This is probably the biggest challenge. Using the body as an analogy will lead us to commit deep errors, errors that will prevent us from seeing what's actually going on, that will give us inappropriate and unreliable analogies, leading us to gaps. And the fact is, in cybersecurity, we need to know everything about our environment, down to the bit. We want to make cybersecurity less of a mysterious art, less dependent upon inspiration, and more of an engineering discipline. We want to be able to lay down principles, basic rules by which cybersecurity proceeds. We want to come up with a common body of knowledge that is more than just lore and what somebody told me that they did once that worked. We need to be more thoughtful in our choice of patterns and analogies. It's difficult to think deeply, but if we're going to do any kind of engineering, we need to think clearly. And that's my bit of security for the 25th of February, 2025. I'm Bill Malik. Please be safe.